Welcome live, Hit of Racing Hotspot Weekend Roundup. It is March 16th, a day late because they were out in the desert.
Snow again, too.
Yes.
I was out till 11:45 last night. Didn't even know it. And I probably pissed a lot of people off because I'm out there with the blower. Wah! 11:45.
Yeah, they're sitting there. 90 degrees, really hot here. And we're like, we want to be there. But let's get right into things here. Look at the show lineup. We have Motorsports at 60, Supercross, then Formula One returns this year, this year, a little bit better. We decided to change up the name of the segment to This Week in Formula One with Peter Long. Why not? Peter will be on with us in a matter of minutes. Actually, we'll get him on while you guys are live. Should make it interesting. After that, we'll take a break. Then we'll come back. We'll talk about NASCAR, the Points Championship, and the final lap. So here's the Motorsports at 60. 60 seconds starts right now. One topic, the NASCAR Xfinity Series in Phoenix. I caught some of the race. Probably with 20 laps to go, I had to leave to, or I don't remember what I was doing.
You really need a DVR, man.
You buy it. You pay. I'm all cool.
It's like $7.
I don't know. Talk to my dad. All right.
Well, tell him to get rid of cable, first of all. It's just too expensive to start with. I don't think you can, actually.
Later the same day, we finally got to Motorsports. No. Here's the top.
28.
Here's the top 5. Eric Jones finished 5th. Austin Dillon finished 4th. Kevin Harvick finished 3rd. Matt Kenseth finished 2nd. And Joey Logano won the race. Dominated from what I heard or what I saw.
It was a squashing.
The top 4, as you can see, are... Or, as you can see... No. You guys can visualize.
Big surprise!
Our Cup guys. With 5 seconds to spare. Moving on to Supercross. The two classes, 250s and 450s. Here's the top 3 from the 250 class. RJ Hampshire finished 3rd. Justin Bogle finished 2nd. And Marvin Musquin won the race. Congrats to Marvin. And then the 450 class top 5. Here you go. Finishing 3rd, Trey Kennard. Cole Seeley finished 2nd. And Ryan Dungey dominated the race.
I'm assuming it would be easier if I screened along so you don't have to keep looking back.
Sure.
Well, I'm sure that our audience would like to see your pretty face instead of you turning looking at the screen.
Pretty face, huh? Alright, now I'm going to pull this over here. And I'm going to open up Skype on the other screen. I'm testing out some new stuff.
I didn't actually make any notes on the Formula One because, as I said, I watched it live, and as everybody knows, it was in Australia, so it was in the middle of the night, and I hardly was able to stay awake, but it was a good race, though.
Yeah, I know. I woke up to a notification. Dave tagged you in a post. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, 1-something in the morning.
Yeah, and I'm like, whatever, and I see, are you watching the F1 race? It's live. I'm like, when did he send it? Oh, I was asleep. Alright, hold on 1 second.
I should have been asleep, but that's besides the fact. It actually kept me up. It was till like 3-something in the morning, I think like 3:10 or something crazy. But I love those things, though. Like crazy little go-karts.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Alright, here we go. Now, might have to turn the volume down on the TV. Or not. What did I do?
What is that?
Oh, that's his profile picture on Skype. I'm not sure. We're getting our F1 analyst right now.
Or trying to.
Or trying to. We're trying Skype, because that's what he prefers to use, which is cool. Whatever.
Has he tried using the...
Yeah.
You don't like it?
Oh.
See, I think Skype makes me look like that Pepsi guy. It's before your time. It was a character that they used to have, and it was just him. It was a digital... It was like one of the first digital apps, I think, now that I think about it, because they didn't really have it much back then. But he always did like things like this. Like flinched and twitched and stuff like that. But it was done on purpose, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know that. It might not have been, but I always feel like that's what I look like when I'm on that thing. That's why I prefer to be here in the studio. Thinking he's not answering right now. Text him.
We'll keep trying.
There's enough technology in this room at this point in time to burn a house down.
What are you saying?
Dude, we have like everything. Really, we don't even use this, and this thing's a godsend. It's actually this, but in a form of a little tablet.
Alright, we are gonna let that go, I guess. Maybe not. Stop it. Yeah, we're gonna let that go. We're gonna keep Skype up though. We're gonna give you the top.
Did you text him?
No, I did not.
Well, just text him and say call in. We're ready for you whenever, and we can carry on with the rest of the show. And if we have to break into it, we'll break into it.
All right. So let's give you the top 5 from the Formula One race, which, as he said, was run at 1:30 or 1 a.m. here in the East Coast. Finishing 5th. So this is the good thing about having him. He knows how to say these last names. I know how to say them except for the 5th place. So finishing 5th was Felipe.
I'd say Nasser.
Nasser. We'll confirm. We'll ask him. Felipe Nasser finished 5th. Felipe Massa finished 4th. Sebastian Vettel finished 3rd. Nico Rosberg finished 2nd. And Lewis Hamilton won the race. Lewis Hamilton picking up right where he left off last season. I wonder if he knew that they switched seasons, or if it was just extended vacation.
I don't know. Watching the finish, he was pretty dominant, or at least this is in my opinion. That's why I'd love to have him on right now, because it would be helpful. What is his first name?
Peter.
I'd love to have Peter on, but I thought it looked close, but at the same time, it kind of looked like Lewis Hamilton was pretty much dominant. But I think that Rosberg really made a run for it on the last lap, so it was kind of close.
We're actually going to do this a little differently. We're going to pull this back over here.
The acceleration on those things is just insane, though. It really is. Just to watch, it's like I said, little crazy go-karts.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on there. So
I'd like to give one a try, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If you were given a choice between a Formula One car or a NASCAR, a Cup car, side by side, same track. Let's just say, even if it's just an oval. Let's just say it's not a road course.
Watkins Glen.
All right, let's say Watkins Glen. Which one would you hop in?
Only one. I only get one.
You only get to try one.
Probably the Formula One car.
Yeah,
because then, well, the reason is because then you could go back to the Richard Petty driving experience and pay money to run in a Cup car.
True.
You know what I mean? Formula One, you don't really. There isn't a Formula One driving experience.
True. I was actually, like I said, when I came to pick you up, I actually was like in a Formula One car because I was later than I wanted to be, and I'm not the timeliest individual on the planet, but I said I'd be there at 3:30, and then I got held up, and it was like I did whatever I could to get there.
So
for legal reasons, I cannot say how fast I was going.
You were qualified, not speeding.
True.
Qualified.
Very good point.
He was making sure that he understood the aerodynamics of Formula One and how the cars felt.
Yep.
Right. So we're kind of just burning time right now.
And I'm in a rental car too, so yeah.
Just stop. You're making it seem
You got a Toyota Corolla that's going to get more airtime than anyway.
Not on camera airtime wise. So just to kill time here, waiting for him. We are looking at.
How do you do that?
What?
Because mine looks like dimmer than yours. Is this optimal resolution thing?
Oh, I have no clue. I just leave it alone.
So you're supposed to be a technology guy.
I am, with cameras and editing and stuff like that, but other than that, I don't touch any of it. It's set up the way I want it, and I don't touch it. I've learned to adapt.
I got you. It's like this bar here I don't need, but it's always there.
Well, you can. I know how to remove that.
Oh.
Go to your, right there, click, settings. See, welcome to this tech week. This weekend Racing Hotspot Tech. Always show bookmark. Click that off.
Really, that simple?
Yep. And now scroll down. I don't think there's a. No, you're good. Now just close it out. Close out that tab. Don't close out everything. Close out the tab. And there you go.
Computer genius, I'm not.
poof, it's gone. But Formula One's off for 2 weeks, so next week we won't have Peter with us, but after that we'll have a open wheel type weekend because IndyCar returns, and then Formula One's on top of that. And
have you seen some of the new Indy cars? The ones that whatchamacallit, tagged you in?
Yeah.
Whoa, what's with the aerodynamics? This thing looks insane.
Yeah, I know. You think Cup cars are aerodynamic, but then you look at these Formula One and Indy cars, and it's like,
the new Indy, what is it? It's Honda, right? The new, was it new Honda that I sent you?
I think it was.
This is insane. You have like, it looks like about 6 or 7 different fins there on the front wing.
Let's look it up. Yeah, I know. I don't even. See, like, this is the one I heard about. And there they are.
You got a front view? Yeah, there you go. No, you just had it. It was on the side. Right there.
Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Super small. Hold on. Let's search. Search a little bit here. Oh,
right there.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah, that is crazy. I say 67, there's only 4, but still. Well, actually, if you look at the outsides and whatnot, there's like more like, dang. Man, that is really, really craziness when it comes to aerodynamics. They got real deep on that thing. Now, being not that familiar with Indy, are they all Hondas, or they're various manufacturers?
There's Hondas.
There was 2, right?
I'm not sure what the other one is. I can't think of what it is.
But it looks basically the same if that's it.
I was gonna say I thought it was like Chevy, but I don't think so.
Honda. Oh, I'd like to have that engine.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Like I say, we're killing time right now. I don't know. I kind of like the old Formula One cars, like that one.
That's not Formula One, though.
I mean, IndyCar.
Yeah.
Like the one I have back there.
No, I like the aerodynamics. I think it looks crazy. No, he just had a good shot at it right there. I mean, that is absolutely absurd. Look at that. And then probably each one is adjustable for a different angle and whatnot. Imagine the downforce that produces.
Can't wait to watch it.
I mean, once you get to the speed, that car's like glued to the track.
Jeez, that is crazy. Yeah, but now you can't bump. You can't do anything with these cars.
Well, you really couldn't in the first place.
I know that,
most
but
likely shouldn't.
I know that, but jeez, that is just insane.
Is that like an over-exaggeration? I think that was done on purpose.
I think so. Yeah. I think someone just put it on.
Maybe that's why I was saying it looked like there was 6 or 7, because that was probably somebody put that up. What does it say in the thingy?
Yeah, I'm not sure what other manufacturers are in there.
I for some reason think you might be right. I think it is Chevy. But I was old school right there.
Chevy.
Yep.
That one?
Yeah, dude, that would be what I used to see at Watkins Glen when my dad used to take me as a kid. That was the norm.
Oh my God.
It's a heck of an air scoop, huh?
There's Chevy. Yeah.
Well, I also saw the Tyrrell.
Chevy.
Have you ever actually seen the Tyrrell? I think actually the Tyrrell is just the name. The 6-wheel?
No.
It had 4 wheels in front for steering. Elf Tyrrell. Look it up.
Oh my God.
It's kind of cool.
How do you spell it? ELF.
Mm-hmm.
And then, on the shelf.
TY.
TY.
R. There we go.
Second one. My God.
Yep. There it is. I used to watch that thing run.
That doesn't look like a race car. That looks like
It was an
a
interesting
street version
concept,
of a street version
and it
of
was somewhat successful. But that was Formula One, I believe. That was not that's not Indy or anything. There was a true Formula One. And I believe, actually, Jackie Stewart ran one. Like 1 year.
Looks like a street version of a freight train.
It is kind of insane. I mean, look at the open engine in the back and all that stuff. Oh, that was Schechter. That was, what was his name? Alan Schechter, I believe. And I did actually get to see him race. They were somewhat successful. It was a silly concept in the long run, but it was somewhat successful. Look at that, rain tires. Speaking of, did you hear about with NASCAR, what they're doing with the road courses?
Yeah, they're doing rain tires.
Yep, full gear. So it doesn't matter, unless it gets so bad that it's, like where even Formula One would bail out.
Yeah. That should be fun. I know they did it with the Xfinity and trucks. Or, actually, trucks didn't really run on road courses before, a couple of years ago. But, so.
You have texted them or no?
Yeah, I did.
Right.
Well,
maybe we should just roll.
Yeah,
and we'll go back.
We're going to do that. So, we're going to move on now. We're going to come back when he comes up. So, a little bit change of show lineup here. NASCAR. Talk about the CampingWorld.com 500. Then we'll talk about your notes. So, here's the top 5. Finishing 5th, Kurt Busch. Casey Kane finished 4th. Ryan Newman finished 3rd. Jim McMurray finished 2nd. And Kevin Harvick won the race. Shocker. So, great run by Kevin. Watched some of that at Grandpa's. I had other thoughts on this. Dang it. Yeah.
That's why you should start making notes. Because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't remember. But in reference to the Cup race itself, I don't know if you know, but when Kevin Harvick started this race, 1,000 laps led.
I saw that.
Now that's impressive. I mean, you cannot deny that kind of talent, especially if his career isn't even that long yet.
Yeah, that is. But only 1,000 laps led at Phoenix. Only 1,000 laps led at Phoenix, not overall. He's probably more than that overall.
I thought that was all overall.
No, I thought they said that at Phoenix. If you think about it, he's very dominant.
I don't know, but that would be a lot at one track.
Well, even more impressive.
True. Well, I guess you could be right, because the average dominant driver probably is better than 200
per race.
Per race, yeah.
If you think about it, he's been in the 29 or the 4 since Dale Earnhardt Sr. died, which was
2001.
Yeah, which has been 14 years.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So
maybe you're right. I thought that was 1,000 laps led altogether, so that's even more impressive, really.
No, I think...
I wonder what his full count is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm thinking 1,000 laps overall. It's kind of on the low end, if I could guess. But...
At one track, that isn't on the low end.
No, I'm saying overall.
That's impressive as that.
I'm saying overall. Like, if that was... Like, Jimmy Johnson's probably tripled that.
You know what? I have the magazine that actually gives that stat, and I just gave it back to the Godfather, who's not with us today, by the way.
No. That's why he's a little quieter behind the camera.
Honestly, when it came to that race, I didn't have all that much to say. It was a hard hit for Junior. That was one thing without a doubt. And for the most part, I thought it was a pretty calm race until the end, until they got down to the wire. And even then, it wasn't like that crazy. It was... I think Kevin Harvick had it, and
people kind of just went,
yeah, ain't nothing you can do about it. Yeah, nothing you're going to do about it.
Let's cleanly fight for the positions back here.
But I do say congratulations to Kevin Harvick and the Stewart-Haas team. But one note I did want to make, which I keep harping on, and I'm probably making people sick of me already because of this, but coincidence that he ran the Xfinity race, and then won the Cup race? He was in the top 3 nationwide, right?
I don't know. Yeah. Yes. Third place.
I called that right on.
I don't know. The thing is you're right. It kind of is a coincidence. But before the Xfinity practice, he had a fast car. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it goes Cup practice, then Xfinity.
I'm not denying that, but it gives him, because the cars are so similar now, I think it's even, I make the point even harder about how... or stronger, about how they really shouldn't be driving that. And I think in my notes somewhere I did make a note of an idea I had for NASCAR. It's like I said, big surprise, all Cup guys starting up front with all Cup guys. One note I did want to say though on the subject, Daniel Suarez and Eric Jones, these guys are up and coming without a doubt. They're not even on the roster. Did you know that?
No.
They are not even on. If you go to NASCAR.com, they are not even on the Xfinity roster. It's because they had to fill in for other drivers. I'm not exactly sure why Eric Jones. Wait, nope, sorry. Let me say Suarez is in the 18. Why he?
Because that is actually his new ride.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, why is he not in the roster though? Because Eric Jones is definitely. Well, they're both not in the roster.
Because if you think,
but Eric Jones filled in for Kyle Busch.
Well,
who doesn't race every race anyway?
But if you think about it, when you have a new driver, it does take them a little bit longer to get you filled in.
Well, Eric Jones finished. He was the first, I believe, the first actual Xfinity driver.
He finished.
To finish, yeah. So I don't want. I know it's all right here. I just don't want to be making, looking at my notes while I'm talking. And again, what's the point of notes, right? Not a bad day for Suarez either, because he finished just outside the top 10.
Yeah.
In 11th. I believe he started inside the top 10. I think they both did. There was a note somewhere. I will no longer congratulate the Xfinity winner unless the Xfinity winner is an Xfinity driver. That sounds a little bit like I'm mad about it, huh? But, I don't see my note on it, but I thought that I did say something, but I'm not saying it. My thoughts were that I know they don't give them points, so why do they get the top prize? Understanding it is a secondary team for the owners. Yeah. Well, if they want the top prize, then they need to get a driver on it that's new. Because it is an underdog type thing, or a rookie type thing. Yeah. It's a place to find somebody to move to Cup next. Yeah, exactly. If you got all these Cup guys in there, if you got all these Cup guys in there, they're stinking up the field. And they're not just stinking up the field, but they're taking the top prizes that other teams may need. Because there are teams that are in Xfinity that don't have a team in the Cup Series. Yeah. So they need that money. They need the money to go on. So I think that NASCAR should do something to adjust that. I'm not saying completely take any prizes away from the Cup drivers, but at least try to come up with some kind of balance where you can push more towards. Because I have looked, and they list the stuff in NASCAR Illustrated, the monies, and it goes straight up to from first down. Now, say 1 through 5 are all Cup drivers. Number 6 is all the way down to like $23,000 or something like that for the best he could do because he can't beat these guys. So now, if the equipment is that good, well, then put a regular driver in and see how he does. Yeah. So you can't say it's the equipment. That's it. I don't know. It's just a thought. But they'll probably never do anything with that one. Too many owners would complain. But then again, I'm surprised that the owners of the lesser teams aren't going, hey, come on, this is not fair. But all in all, we've already covered my notes.
That's good. And now more
I guess, but we're still waiting.
More dead air time. No. You never noticed how odd-shaped Phoenix is?
Oh yeah, that was another note. But no, I didn't. That was actually the first time they had an overview from the blimp or whatever it was, and I'm looking at it going, how have I never noticed that? And that's why I made a note of it. But it is one odd-shaped track.
Well, if you think about it, it basically looks like an oval just turned to someone went,
Well, it definitely slows them down. Because if you were looking at the top speeds, I'm going, wait, what? Because I was kind of surprised because it was relatively slow. It was like 138.
That's slow.
There's a lap speed, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
I mean, granted, yeah, okay, they're going faster in the straights, but I think it's an overall lap speed. 130 is not all that impressive. That's like Loudon.
Yeah, that is. I think Loudon's like 120 or 150.
Yeah, so it's not fast, but
it's slower because of the corners.
Oh, it's an overgrown Martinsville. So yeah, those turns are rough. I was actually in a race car doing it. Well, I didn't get to drive it, but it scared the heck out of me, that's for sure. I'm like, too fast, too fast, too fast, too fast, too fast.
White wall, white wall, white wall.
Well, actually, I think it was by the second lap. You had this thing where you did this. If you got scared, you put your thumbs down. But if you wanted them to go a little faster, but not too much faster, you did like this. Or like this, just all out. And I was, by the second lap, I'm like this. And I was trying to hint them to go to the wall, so because I just wanted to see. Because I'm on the passenger side.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the wall is right here. It was like crazy.
Go over to the wall, and he's like, insurance purposes.
I'm not even sure. No, they do it. It's a professional driver, so it's just a matter of whatever you want. You know, as long as you're not going to puke in my car, kind of thing. They're willing to do it. It's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't know. You can't have to ask them to hit the wall, but beyond that, you can get as close. And it really is impressive.
At Darlington, can you give us a Darlington stripe?
I can't honestly imagine though how being that close to like the wall, like say Daytona at the speeds they do there or Talladega. I think at that point maybe I would be the thumbs down. Okay, slow down.
Stop!
Well, you're strapped in so tight too. Really, all you can do because you are strapped in so tight, and the shoulders, they literally push you down and tug the belt, so you kind of, really all you have, movement-wise, is this. That's it. You have, I'm sorry, nobody can see it, but it's all the way down your lap, where the driver can actually see you, and that's pretty much all you can do. You really can't even lift your arms.
So you can text, I'm in a race car.
Actually, you probably could.
Sit there. I think I'm writing something.
You know that Gene did that too, right?
Yeah. My dad did it.
Different scenario though. I think he did it with the Petty.
Oh yes.
I had actually won it. Actually, if I remember right, it was actually through Marlboro back when they were allowed to sponsor and whatnot. I don't know if we ever told anybody I quit.
No, he didn't.
It's gonna be a year in another couple months.
Yeah, he quit smoking.
Well, they probably noticed I'm not coughing anywhere, isn't it, like I used to?
Yeah.
But no, feel much better. So glad to get rid of it, and nowhere as near as hard as people think it is. Just it's all in your mind. You just put it away and move on.
Move on with your life.
It's saving me a lot of money, that's for sure.
So, to kill time, I just had a thought. Oh yeah, in April, our live event season returns. April 26th, I'm going to a Yankee game. Not filming for the show. Different sport. Baseball is much different than racing.
A little bit.
The original idea was on April. I want to say April 12th. We were going to do a Legends ECT Tour race, which we are still going to do at Lee. And then we were going to do April 25th and 26th doubleheader weekend with the Legends race at Stafford Speedway on the 25th.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. When am I? Oh, I don't come back till the 14th.
Yeah.
And so I can't go to Lee.
Dang it!
No, I'm gonna live.
Yeah. Luckily it's...
But I'll be where it's warm. And I don't care if it snows while I'm gone. Well, as long as it doesn't snow down there. that would be... that would be my kind of luck, too. The only person that goes to Florida and it snows on vacation.
Kim. Dang, take the snow back with you!
Right.
Actually,
Bill probably would blame me. You brought it. It's your fault.
So, on April 26th, I'm going to the Yankee game. So, now, what we're looking at, and I still have to run this by my parents, because they're my transportation, I have to... looking at a Legends car race at NHMS on the 25th, and also a Legends car race in Connecticut on the 25th. Now,
You know what scares me? Soon they won't be your transportation.
Is that why you almost threw me the keys when you picked me up today?
I thought you could drive, so if I wanted to see. I happen to be a far better teacher when it comes to driving than anybody I know.
But you know what's
Not
funny?
to brag or blow up my own, you know what I mean? But truth is, I have taught hundreds of people how to drive.
I've yet to get behind.
A lot of women, actually.
What are you saying? No.
No, I've taught a lot of women how to drive, and I tend to go, because I used to always have standards, can't really drive a standard anymore because of issues with the clutch and my legs and stuff. But back then, that was where I'd always go. I'd find a standard, and I'd teach them on that. A friend of mine, Mary Creppin, haven't talked to her in years, but I taught her in a Mustang GT. It was a friend of mine, Eric's Mustang GT. She took to this thing, and I'm telling you right now, this girl could have been a professional race driver within a year of the time she drove for the first time. At first, scary as scary gets, but nothing personal, ladies, but sometimes women can make you a little nervous behind the wheel.
Yeah,
but I've taught a lot of people how to drive, so as soon as I heard you were allowed to drive, my thoughts were, as I was coming across, I'm like, let them drive the go-kart.
Well, the thing is...
Of course, I don't know if I want to say this on air, but you're technically not supposed to drive.
No.
Only I am.
But the thing is I've not even gotten behind the wheel in a parking lot. So even if you said, or even if we did...
Where have you driven?
Nowhere. I haven't driven at all yet. Maybe I move the car down the driveway.
Do me a favor, ask your parents if I'm considered the guardian or something like that, because I'll show you how to drive. It's really...
My dad should be home in a little bit, so you can ask him then. But I don't know. But back to what I was saying, on the 25th of April, the timing might actually work out. Because Connecticut is a 2.5-hour drive from here. I mapped it out. So the Legends race here starts at 11:15.
So it's like an hour and 45 minutes for me?
Yeah. The Legends race starts at 11:15 here, as you guys know from an HMS. And then it takes...
If you're a Connecticut State Police officer and you watch our show, do not use that against me. I have bad luck in Connecticut.
So, Legends race starts at 11:15 here. It goes till about noon. I could skip the post-race interviews as much as I'd love to do them. I could then travel down there and get down there before the time the race starts. Now, here's the thing. The races are scheduled to start at 2:30. So that's where I was like, it's going to be close. But at 2:30 starts modified time trials and like a bunch of other series, including Legends heat races. So then you have the main events, except for the modifieds. So the Legends might actually be at the end of that line, meaning the race doesn't start till 4:35.
The way you can find out?
No, I'm still waiting on permission to even record at this track. So if I get permission, which I'm actually going to tell them I can't go to the Sunday race, I just need Legend permission. I'm going to say, okay, what time is the Legends race, like, where is it in the lineup? This way I can say to my parents, look, this race isn't starting until 3:34.
You would figure they have a roster of some sort, no?
They do. Let me show you.
You do realize whatever you're doing is on the screen, right?
Yeah, I know.
What is on Sunday in modifieds?
Yeah, modified tour race. Starts at 3. The Yankee game starts at 7. There is no possible way to get...
How big is this track?
Half a mile. Half a mile. So here you go. 2:30. Modified time trials. All-American Series, U.S. Legends cars, the truck series.
So you don't break it down by time. And you know why they do that? It's easier because as things roll, depending on how they, you know what I mean? They don't have to be to the exact schedule like NASCAR, exactly. Where it's literally, 1:05.
Yeah. With this, it's kind of like, well, go out there, modifieds might go smoothly, but the Legends might wreck in turn 1.
Yeah. I've even seen NASCAR push the pastor and hurrying up on the prayer. Just to make sure that they're on time. But I think that's, television and whatnot that does that.
But so then it goes modifieds, late models, Dare Stock, U.S. Legends. So I guess that would be the lineup. But that Legends car race might not actually start till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Or even later. I mean, you got late models there too. Late models are full-size cars, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the last event for Saturday. So depending on what my parents say.
But yet they're listed. I'm confused. No, because you get to...
Well, I'm saying that...
That would probably be the big dog for Saturday.
Yeah.
The New England Truck Series. Because they said they're calling it the feature.
Yeah. Well, feature events.
Yeah. No, that's a tough... you're going to have to call them. Because that's a tough one to actually understand where they're coming from.
But luckily, like I said, that is the last event on Saturday. So this it says, he's going to start at 2:30, can end at 4, It could end at 8. You don't know. So I'm going to try to find that out.
Ooh, I want to be there on Sunday, the Pitts party. Napa Auto Parts Pitts party? Pit party? Well, that sounds fun.
Bring a camera. I'll be in New York.
Modified 49, late model feature. Now, the Spring Sizzler was what?
It's the modified, yeah, that's 200 laps, which I was...
Ooh, that's actually a pretty long race.
Yeah.
For modifieds.
Then again, it's about the distance-wise, 100 for us.
They do 100 at Loudon, right?
Yeah, so, but I don't know, we're going to find out, as far as what, and look, speak of the devil. Find out as far as that, we'll talk a little bit more later.
Just one more thing, I just wanted to give a shout out to Casey Kane on his 400th career start.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Good.
Hey, Andrew. Hang on a sec, okay, Devin?
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew. Can you go upstairs or downstairs or something for a bit? I gotta do a show here. I have to do a show for like 10 minutes. The racing guy, the racing hotspot. I'm an F1 analyst now. I wear many hats.
I was actually just showing him the Elf Tyrrell, the 6-wheel car.
The what?
The Elf Tyrrell, the 6-wheel car.
Yeah?
I used to watch that at Watkins Glen when I was a kid.
Yeah, that was a while.
Yeah, it was.
I wonder who they morphed into.
I want to say 76, somewhere around that.
Like, what team are they now, you know? Because all the teams that existed still exist. They just morphed into new names, you know? Cause,
yeah, all combined. And
teams in F1, they just sell, you know?
Yep.
Well,
can you see me okay?
Yeah, we can see you.
All right, because I don't have my glasses on. I only have a little square there, and it's pretty bright here.
You're actually doing a lot better than I normally do when I do it this way. I like to be in the studio because I hate the way I look on that thing.
All right, well, welcome to the show. We are live, so to speak. So now to the Formula One segment, really. We went over the top 5. How do you say the 5th place finisher's last name?
Nasser, Felipe Nasser.
Felipe
So
Nasser.
right on.
Okay, yeah, we were on. Well, wasn't sure if there was, some of the Formula One names there.
Well, there's definitely a new crop of Formula One drivers this year. A lot of young drivers, too. Max Verstappen is actually 17 years old.
Wow.
Jeez.
That I did not know.
Running
Yeah,
a Formula One car.
Max Verstappen, what's his father's name was Formula One driver, Josh Verstappen, I think was his name. So yeah, he's 17 years old. He's the youngest F1 driver ever, and he would have scored points in this race if it wasn't for, I think he had engine problems after 32 laps, but he was doing very, very well.
Well, that will bring us right into what are your thoughts on this weekend's past race? He watched some of it. He watched all of it live.
In the middle of the night.
Wow.
I was getting ready to go to bed, and then I realized it was on. I'm like, oh no. That was it. Watched it to the end.
Well, I recorded it, and we actually lost power overnight, so I did lose about 10 laps of the race somewhere. It ended up recording 8 times, so I was playing around with all the different recordings trying to get the whole race in, but I finally did. This is Hamilton's defense of his title last year. As you know, Rosberg and Hamilton had it was close at times. I mean, at one point, even Rosberg had a 30-point lead, but Hamilton came back, won the title, so this is his title defense. After race 1, it was actually one of the worst races I've ever seen, simply because only 13 cars were still running after lap 1, which is just totally embarrassing for the F1 community. Hamilton won, Rosberg came in second. It was a record, 9th or something, 1-2 finish sort of thing. It was. It looks like this year Mercedes is going to dominate again. Third place was 30-some-odd seconds behind them.
And that was a Ferrari, right?
What's that?
That was a Ferrari, right?
Yeah, it was a Ferrari, and it's very odd to see Sebastian Vettel in red. Sebastian Vettel, of course, is a 4-time world champion with Red Bull until his reign ended last year with Hamilton's win, and he went to Ferrari. Ferrari seems to have a better package this year than they have in the last few years, but it's obvious that they're still lacking the power of the Mercedes, and I guess it's all going to be a fight for second at this point. Massa came in fourth for Williams. Last year, Williams had a comeback year. Of course, they're running Mercedes power. His partner, Valtteri Bottas, actually, who I think is probably the better driver, didn't race because he had a shunt the day before and he had some back injuries, so he was sat out. So they didn't run a second car. Kevin Magnussen, who's McLaren basically is one of the winningest teams in Formula One. They were the last two in qualifying. They were just horrible. They got the least amount of laps in testing this winter also. Their package just is not ready. Kevin Magnussen didn't even make it to the starting grid on the warm-up lap. He blew his engine. And his partner came in 11th. That's simply just because there was 13 cars running. Other than that, let's see. Kimi Räikkönen, one of my favorite drivers with Ferrari. Again, he has a better car, but he had two horrible pit stops. The first pit stop, they could barely get the rear tire on, cost him some time. And then on a second pit stop, they actually didn't even put they put the tire on, but didn't put the lug nut on. So he went out, and 10 seconds later, they just told him to pull over, park the car, and he was done for the day because of a pit stop.
Wow.
So that was too bad for him. Sauber's looking good. Like you mentioned before, Felipe Nasser, another rookie this year, finished fifth, and his partner, Marcus Ericsson, finished eighth. So that's looking good for Sauber this year. And the other team, Force India, also running Mercedes Power, ended in 7th and 10th, respectively. That's, I forget the drivers for them. It's Hulkenberg and Perez, Sergio Perez and Nico Hulkenberg. Those are the two drivers there.
Wow.
So in a nutshell, it was an uneventful race in the sense of not much drama. It was kind of boring. Actually, even if you watched the race, they didn't even show Hamilton and Rosberg for the most part. They were just concentrating on everybody else, and at the end, they just showed them as they were winning the race because they were just so far ahead. And like I said, it was kind of an embarrassment to just see 13 out of the 18 cars that qualified actually make it to the grid. You're talking about a premier racing series that couldn't even get the cars on the grid, so that's pretty pathetic. I mean, I know it's all high-tech and they're on the cutting edge of technology, but still, with the hundreds of millions of dollars they pour into their programs, you'd think they can get them on the grid,
They had, what, one more than half the field actually finish?
I don't know how many actually finished. I don't know actually how many people finished, but usually they have 22 cars. They usually have 11 teams, 22 cars.
Well, it was 11 cars that finished. That I remember.
What's that?
Only 11 cars finished.
Only 11 cars.
So it was actually half the field. That
was number 11, which makes sense because they dropped the Mercedes power this year and went with Honda, who's coming back into the sport. A lot of people are running Mercedes, and I think McLaren's a little disillusioned after winning so many championships with Mercedes power. Now that Mercedes factory team has come in and they won last year's championship and they're going to run away with it this year, they just felt they needed something to move in a new direction, so they went with Honda, and obviously their package is not ready at all because they were 3-4 seconds off the pace in qualifying, and they just constantly have trouble everywhere,
So one race in, you're already predicting Mercedes factory team.
Well, yeah, I think it's going to be a foregone conclusion that Mercedes is going to win the Constructors' Championship this year and probably the Drivers' Championship. I mean, again, it is very early on. Some teams do make some advances, but usually when they're this far apart, it's really difficult because by the time they catch up, there might be 4, 5, 6 races in, and by then they've accumulated so many points that it's really hard to catch up.
Yeah, I have to agree.
I don't see them. I mean, unless they run into some reliability issues, which they didn't last year, and they certainly didn't look unreliable yesterday. I think it's a safe bet at this point. But yeah, anything could happen. I mean, it's nice to see Ferrari up there. The Renault program, it's just not good at all. I mean, the two Red Bulls, even though, where did he end up in? Ricardo ended up 6th. His partner actually didn't even make it. Daniel Kvyat didn't even make it to the grid because he had gearbox problems. But Ricardo fought. He ended up in 6th. But the Renault package is not there. Look at the Renault team. They didn't even finish a lap, both cars.
Wow.
Yeah, which is 3 years ago. Kimi Räikkönen was on that team. They'd won a couple of races. They were competitive, but they just fell off the cliff there, and they didn't even complete a lap in the race. So,
jeez.
Again, it doesn't look very good. I mean, you want to see a lot of competition in racing, and I was not a fan when Red Bull was just racking up championship after championship and always leading a race, and it was always 1-2 Red Bull, 1-2 Red Bull. Ferrari had that for a few years. It looks now like Mercedes is going to be doing that again this year after doing it last year. So it doesn't make for some very exciting racing, unless, of course, you have a good rivalry like, Rosberg and Hamilton had last year. And they didn't get along, which helps too.
Do you watch any of the Formula E?
I do not. Formula 8?
They're electric. It's actually... They did have a race this weekend. It's the only thing I missed. And frankly, I have to agree with you 100% with the Formula race. Not overly exciting. But then again, I would say of all 3 races I watched this weekend, it seemed that way. Because even the NASCAR races were, okay. I mean, I could have guessed who was going to win the Xfinity race. It was like the Cup guys in there, and I think he's getting mad at me because I keep pointing that out.
Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't be in it. It's a junior series. Let the young men work their way up.
So I do have.
You have 17-year-old drivers in Formula One.
That's insane.
It's kind of hard to call it the grown-up series, And Formula One's changed too. There was some drama this weekend. Vandergaard for the Caterham team had a contract, and they have 3 drivers. And they said he wasn't going to drive this weekend, so they took him to court, and they said they were going to seize. If they didn't let him drive, they were going to seize all the cars, the equipment of the team in Australia. So he finally, for the good of the sport, said, okay, fine, I'm not going to enforce that. But, that's the problem, is they brought in 3 drivers, and they have to bring in sponsors, so they probably raised like $20 million a piece. So these 3 drivers are bringing in $60 million, and all of a sudden they say you can't drive. I mean, if you pay $20 million for your job, you should at least be able to do your job.
Yeah, right.
The courts agreed with them, So it's kind of weird when the drivers have to bring in money. Usually, you just want to hire the best drivers, period, and you don't need sponsorship money from them,
Mm-hmm.
It is different, very different.
Yeah.
Looking at this race, do you think that this season is going to be different compared to past seasons, or do you think it's just first race jitters, now we're going to get back on the bandwagon and go like normal?
Unfortunately, it seems to be a pattern that a lot, once a team's got the right package, it's really hard to beat them, I mean, they've got a good aerodynamic package, they've got a good power package, I mean, their engine plant is the power plant is the best right now. And I mean, and if you look at the top 10, like 7 of the top 10 are running Mercedes. I do think that it's going to be hard for it not to be constantly Rosberg and Hamilton at the top. But it'll be interesting to see how Ferrari and whether Renault can get their package up to date. And some of the other teams running Mercedes power, Force India, Williams, even Toro Rosso did good this weekend. I mean, they're the junior Red Bull team, and they did very, very well this weekend. So, I mean, it's always interesting to watch the other teams battle, too. But it'd be nice to see it more for 1 and 2 as opposed to 3 through 10,
Yeah, that makes sense. So, you being a Lewis Hamilton fan, obviously you were pretty happy that he won.
Yes.
Do you think, when he came back this season with, Kevin Harvick, he's coming back and he's defending his title, same with Lewis Hamilton, do you think it was just, I need to defend, or it was just another day in the office?
I think they were dominant.
Well,
Well, I don't think these guys ever see it as another day at the office. They're very, very competitive. I mean, they're just hungry. They want to win. And, a lot of people, actually I saw an interview of him just prior to the race, and they were saying a lot of people are gunning for you. And he was going, well, I'm gunning for everybody else too. I mean, it's all about winning. So these guys are very intense. They train a lot physically. I mean, it's quite a... it doesn't look hard to drive a car, but let me tell you, the G-forces in an F1 car, they lose an average of, close to 10 pounds per race? I mean, that's a lot. Think about losing 10 pounds in an hour and a half. That's crazy. I mean, they totally dehydrate in that vehicle. They've got to hydrate during the race, too. So it's an intense sport, and it's also intense because it's very dangerous. Let's not forget last year the driver that had that little crash, kind of hit a crane. He's still in coma. The driver Valtteri Bottas had a little shunt. He couldn't race. I mean, one of the better drivers in Formula One, who's now with McLaren, Fernando Alonso. He didn't race either because in practice or during the training, he had a crash and he got a concussion, so he couldn't even race this weekend. So it's a very dangerous sport, and they are living on the edge. And one little mistake could end in tears, as we saw with that French driver in Japan, who's still in a coma 5 months later. So it's a dangerous sport. They have to be prepared. They have to be motivated every race, and they can't let their guard down for 1 minute. So I don't think there's such a thing as another day at the office. This is not routine. This is, like I said, always on the edge, and they have to have their wits about them at all times.
All right. So we'll kind of wrap it up here. Looking ahead to the next race, which is in a couple weeks, what do you see as things to look forward to and things that you'll... I don't even know.
His boy Wang again?
I'd like to see if Ferrari continues doing well, I'd like to... They're going to battle with the Williams, I think. So it's going to be a big battle between the Ferraris and the Williams for that second spot, I think. Like I said, I think Mercedes is going to take it, but Ferrari and Williams are going to battle it out for that second spot. And can Red Bull come back to form? I don't know. They're already talking about leaving the sport after one race. And I also like to see Sauber's resurgence. I think resurgence, that's doing well. Toro Rosso. So there is a lot of competition at the lower levels, but I'm thinking it's going to continue to be Mercedes next week, and then a battle between Williams and Ferrari. And I'd like to see Kimi Räikkönen give Vettel a ride for his money over there at Ferrari. He didn't do that well, and I mean, it's interesting to see what Fernando Alonso will be able to do with the McLaren Honda. Hopefully they can, make improvements quick, because it'll be very sad to see Fernando Alonso in last place constantly. I think he'll quit the sport if that's the way it is. He's such a competitive guy,
Yeah. So any final thoughts on this past weekend, or anything in the off season that happened? Anything?
There was a big shakeup at Ferrari, so I like the new direction of Ferrari. And like I indicated earlier, I thought it was quite sad that only 13 cars were in the race after lap 1. I think they definitely have to improve that as a series. When spectators go there, I mean, I was just, if you look at pricing for a Formula One race, you could spend upwards of $1,000 to go to a weekend racing in Formula One, and when you go there and there's only 13 people racing, I don't know. It just seems to me that there's something amiss here. They need to do better as a sport to get more teams involved, because there's a great disparity in Formula One between the rich teams and the poor teams, and they've been trying to address that, but it's not working so far. So they definitely have to work on that, and it shouldn't be that one team is so far ahead of the others, and then it just goes like that the whole season, because it doesn't make it very interesting for the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
They made a lot of changes in Formula One so that there'd be more passing, because the cars are so close from a technology point of view that there wasn't a lot of passing, so they introduced like the wing, where you can open it up and get that drag and the draft, I should say, to pass. I mean, so they've made some changes to have more passing, make it more exciting, and it worked to a certain degree. But if you only have 13 cars on the track, there's not going to be too much passing.
Mm-hmm.
So they did add some races, so there are 20 races on the calendar this year, as opposed to the usual 18. So we're going to see more Formula One racing this year.
Still no New Jersey.
What's that?
I said still no New Jersey.
I think that's for next year, right?
I've been hearing that every year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I thought they were trying to put it on the calendar this year, but the new one, I know there's one in Mexico City. I don't know where the other one is. Last year, Sochi in Russia was one of the new ones. So I don't know. I haven't looked at the calendar to see what's the other new one. Is there one in China?
I'm not sure, in all honesty.
One in China.
I want to say Beijing does
That's
sound.
another thing about Formula One is that it's a world event, and you get to see all these spectacular places they travel to, every other week. So.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I think you may be right on the China thing. I think it's Beijing.
Beijing.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that, but I remember hearing something about it. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where it is.
All right. Well, I guess we'll let you go. Thank you for being on this week.
All right, Devin.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Appreciate your time. Nice finally meeting you.
Yep.
That's fine until then. And I will come to your studio at some point before this season is out.
All right. Well, hold on one second. We'll close to commercial. Stay along with us. So we'll be right back after this really long opening segment. On the other side of the break, we'll have the points championship and the final lap, and that will be it. So we'll be right back. Welcome back live here to Racing Hotspot Weekend Roundup. We really do thank Peter for taking time out of his busy schedule. Like he had said, he is planning or trying to get in studio maybe once, at least once, to be in here to just experiment.
Well, he definitely brings a new level of a new perspective and a new level of knowledge to the show.
Whereas with us, it's like, here's the top 5. All right, next segment.
Well, I grew up with Formula One, Devin, but bottom line is we're talking a billion years ago. Sorry to expose my age, but
he's like us with NASCAR. Mm-hmm. He's on the news. He has. I swear, he has, like, media guys that get emailed to him because some of the things he hears about. It's like,
some of the things he said I haven't even heard at all. So.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you so much, Peter. I know you're probably watching the show, which is kind of weird to think he was just on. Now
I'm already looking at the points lineup, and I already see what happened. But go ahead.
So now to the points championship here. Like we said, it's 57 minutes in, so we're going to keep this quick. I'll try to stay under an hour. We've got to get this done in 3 minutes. Here we go. The winners for Phoenix was Art had Carl Edwards. Trooper had Brad Keselowski. Kristen had Dale Earnhardt Jr. I had Jimmy Johnson. Joe had Kevin Harvick. Dave had Joey Logano. And Justin had the 24, Jeff Gordon. Looking at the results, Art got 0. That's a first. Trooper got 0. Kristen got 5th place. I got 4th. Joe got the win, and because he picked Harvick, he got 5 extra points. Dave got 3rd, and Justin got 2nd. Looking at the standings now, which, by the way, this brings me up to a point I wanted to make. I do apologize if Peter was bright on the screen. I might be able to edit that.
He didn't look that way.
Well, I'm saying on camera, because he's from a distance. It might be like what this is looking like, white. But I don't think it was. I'm not sure. I'm looking at a little screen right now. Yeah, exactly. So I just want to apologize in advance. If not, ignore that. Here's the standings. Art is still leading with 46 points. Joe now moved up to 2nd. He is 18 points behind. Trooper moved down 1 to 3rd, 19 points back. Kristen is now in 4th, 23 points back. I am in 5th, 24 points back. Dave is in 6th, 28 points back. And Justin is in 7th, 32 points back. So, really, one win from either of you guys can pull you right up.
Now, did I go down one or I stayed where I was?
I think.
No, because
No.
2 people picked before me, so I went down. I lost a position.
So, there you go. Like I said, the way I did this was kind of bad because it gave Grandpa a huge lead.
Yeah, we're
But-
gonna have to fix that next
Yeah,
year.
but second, third, fourth, fifth,
We'll have
sixth,
to make
and
somebody
seventh.
else make the rules next year.
Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh are just jumping around week to week, which is pretty cool for us and our viewers. Which, by the way, have you been doing this with Fantasy League?
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. Literally.
You get a reminder email.
I know. On this, okay, you're leading.
Well, I'm leading because you keep forgetting.
I
So-
keep using the same picks. You sent me a message.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, this is the possible next year's points championship. Possible. We still need to.
You probably says something stupid like, I'm winning.
Yeah. We still need to work out all the glitches here. I'm actually curious. You're killing me here too.
Oh, because you were. You were ahead of me by like 35 points or something like that.
So Dave is leading. I'm in second out of 2 people.
I got you by over 100 points. About time.
Is that possible?
Did you forget that whole race?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, duh.
Yeah. So now to the final lap, which now the final lap is brought to you by TS Motorsports, U.S. Legends Car Motorsport, U.S. Legends Car Team, Tom Gray and Sean Buffington. Here's the final lap. Supercross, 7 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. They are racing. I'm actually not sure. IndyCar hasn't returned yet. Formula 1 is off till the 29th of March. Rallycross hasn't returned. United Sports Car. Ooh, shoot, I forgot to put that. United Sports Car Championship is on Saturday. I will look up the start time while we do the rest of the live event final lap. Trucks are off till 2 weeks, or till the 28th. Xfinity is Saturday, 4 p.m. They are in California. And along with the Cup, which will race Sunday at 3:30 on Fox. And the Sebring race starts on Saturday.
Sure.
Doesn't say a time.
Oh, I thought it said
Well, we have a time coming for you. We might be at this race next year, by the way. It will start March
12:30.
10:30 a.m. on Fox Sports 1. Goes till it's a 12-hour race. So the race will actually end.
Oh, and then they're going to be airing. Okay, I got
Yeah.
you. It's bouncing back and forth from channels.
Yeah, exactly. So, so the coverage, the lineup coverage goes like this: 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. Then they switch over to Fox Sports 2 from 12:30 to 7 p.m. That's a lot of time. And then on IMSA.
Oh, I don't know.
How would you even?
If anything, I wouldn't say it's a single name. It's probably standing for something.
No, it's International
IMSA.
Okay, IMSA.com from 7 to 10 p.m. And then from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Fox Sports 2, that will be the checkered flag. So we'll have results from that, which are going to be fun to calculate. So full weekend of racing. United Sports Car Championship comes back after the Rolex. NASCAR's back. Supercross. So
Cool.
hopefully we stayed under an hour. We might be a couple minutes after.
I think you went over.
What by like?
The one thing we didn't talk about either was the return of Kurt Busch and the fact that he's already 33rd in points. Missed 2 races. He's already 33rd in points because of a fifth place? Fifth place finish?
Yeah, it's not bad.
I say it's a great comeback, and I'm glad to see him back.
So, yep, Kurt Busch is back, full swing, and we'll talk more about that next week.
Yep.
So that will do it for this week's show. Make sure to join us next week when we recap the the NASCAR weekend in California, sports cars in Florida, and Supercross. I'm not sure where. So until we see each other then, have a good week, everybody, and goodbye.
Take care, everyone.